Hello, Matimayan!
Ako si Maylene Bellasilio.
Ako si Merinel Di Belen.
Ako si Bianca Min Herrera.
Ako si Neil Jasper Ani Marcelo.
Ako si Lance Christian Owagito.
Ako si Reynes Ferrer.
Ako si Nathaniel Jake Arjadula.
Ako si Aaron Lance Laksa.
Ako si Christian O. Formacion.
At ako naman si John Anthony Santos Tampus.
Samahan niyo kami sa aming paglalakbay at pag-aaral ng kasaysayan, museo,
At kultura ng Kamay-nilaan. At sa paglalakbay na ito, hangad namin na may matutunan kayo kung paano ba naitayo ang mga sumusunod na aming pupuntahan.
Pero Bes, saan Kamay-nilaan ba tayo?
Well, pupunta tayo sa mga lugar na tiyak na meron na idea ang ating mga manonood.
Tara, gala tayo sa Kamay-nilaan. Marami pa na tayong pupuntahan, kaya ano pang hinihintay niyo? Tara!
Nothing else makes me feel high. She's like such a light. This girl, something about it changed my state.
To reach the National Museum of Fine Arts from Olfo, Valenzuela, we need to ride a jeepney to Monumento and get off at the LRT station. It may of 11 pesos. Then, take the LRT1 southbound from Monumento and get off at UN Station. And at last, we will walk to the National Museum located near Rizal Park. The total time travel will approximately about 1 to 1.5 hours and it will cost around 31 pesos.
The National Museum of Fine Arts, located in Ermita, Manila, was originally built in 1921 to house the Philippine Legislature. It was known as the Old Legislative Building, where the Philippine Congress held sessions before World War II. The building suffered significant damage during the Battle of Manila in 1945 and was reconstructed in the post-war period. Over the years, it has been home to various government offices before being officially designated as part of the National Museum complex. Today, it serves as a repository of the Philippines' visual arts heritage. Oral histories connected to the museum often reflect its importance in national identity, featuring stories of Filipino artists, national heroes, and legislators who once walked its halls. Tour guides and elders from Manila sometimes share personal accounts or handed down stories about early visits, exhibitions, and how the museum evolved alongside the country's history. The museum showcases a rich collection of classical and contemporary Filipino art, highlighting the country's diverse culture and history. Notable features include Juan Luna's Poliarium, a massive and dramatic painting that portrays Roman gladiators. It symbolizes colonial oppression and is a national treasure. Works by national artists including Fernando Amorsolo, Vicente Mansala, Carlos Botong Francisco, and others, presenting Filipino life, history, and social commentary through visual arts. Sculptures and religious art. From the Spanish colonial period, showcasing how religion influenced early Filipino culture. Exhibits on modern and contemporary art, reflecting current issues, societal themes, and Filipino identity.
Next destination is the National Museum of Anthropology. From National Museum of Fine Arts, we exit the National Museum of Fine Arts onto Padre Burgos Avenue, cross Finance Road, turn right onto Finance Road,
The walk, approximately 225 meters, about 4 minutes. The National Museum of Anthropology will be on your left.
The National Museum of Anthropology, formerly known as the Museum of the Filipino People, is situated in the Agrifina Circle within Rizal Park, Manila. The building, designed by Canadian-American architect Ralph Harrington Doan, was originally constructed to house the Department of Finance. It was later repurposed to serve as a museum dedicated to the Philippines' rich cultural heritage. Oral histories associated with the museum often highlight its role in preserving and showcasing the diverse cultures and traditions of the Filipino people. Elders and community members share stories of their ancestors' customs, rituals, and daily lives, many of which are represented in the museum's exhibits. These narratives provide a deeper understanding of the artifacts on display and connect visitors to the living traditions of various Filipino communities.
Alam mo ba, ang National Museum of Anthropology ay may isang espesyal na koleksyon na pinamamanan ng katutubong Pilipino, kabilang ang mga indigenous people na taga Mindanao at taga Luzon, na pinagmulan ng kwento at tradisyon ng mga bawat reliyon.
The museum's exhibits are thoughtfully curated to reflect the diverse cultural heritage of the Philippines. Notable galleries include Manlilikha ng Bayan Hall, showcases the works of the Gawad Manlilikha ng Bayan or Gamaba awardees, highlighting the artistry and craftsmanship of Filipino artisans. Bangsamoro Gallery presents the rich cultural heritage of the Bangsamoro people, featuring Islamic art, textiles, and historical items. Kaban ng Lahi Gallery displays archaeological treasures that narrate the story of the Philippines from the past, as presented through artifacts as evidence of its prehistory. Lumad Gallery focuses on the indigenous peoples of Mindanao, displaying traditional clothing, tools, and artifacts that illustrate their way of life. Palayok Gallery, dedicated to the traditional Filipino cooking pot, the palayok, and its significance in Filipino culinary practices. These exhibits not only preserve the tangible aspects of Filipino culture, but also serve as a platform for sharing the oral traditions and stories that have been passed down through generations. The museum plays a crucial role in fostering a deeper appreciation for the Philippines' diverse cultural landscape.
At para sa ikatlong destinasyon ay pupunta naman tayo sa Intramuros.
Take a little walk to the edge of town, go across the track, where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it ships and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires.
Mula sa National Museum of Anthropology, may iba't ibang paraan para makapunta sa Intramuros. First, walking. It's about a 10 to 15 minutes walk. Just head down General Luna Street to reach Intramuros. Second, jeep or bus. You can take a jeep or bus from Padre Burgos Street to Bonifacio Drive, which takes about 6 to 12 minutes and costs around 15 to 23 pesos. Third, taxi or grab. A quick ride will take about 1 to 2 minutes and costs around 60 to 75 pesos.
Sa loob ng Intramuros, matatagpuan ang simbahan ng San Agustin Church, ang pinakamatanda sa bansa. Nagawa sa bato noong 1586.
Our next destination is the Baluarte de San Diego.
Where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it ships and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Across the square, across the bridge, across the the mills past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand.
To get to Baluarte de San Diego from Intramuros, here are a few options. Option 1, walking, approximately 10 to 15 minutes. First, exit the Intramuros area and walk towards General Luna Street. Second, walk south to Morola Street. Third, turn left onto Morola Street and walk straight. Fourth, Baluarte de San Diego will be on your right.
Baluarte de San Diego is one of the oldest stone fortification in Intramuros, Manila. It was originally built as a circular fort called Nuestra Señora de Guia in 1586, designed by Jesuit priest and engineer Father Antonio Cedeño. It was later incorporated into the walled defense of Intramuros and renamed Baluarte de San Diego. This structure served as a strategic military defense post against foreign invaders and pirate attacks. Its location on the southwestern side of Intramuros gave it a vantage point over Manila Bay, making it crucial in protecting the city from naval assault. Throughout its history, the Baluarte witnessed numerous battles and events, including damage during the British invasion in 1762, as well as heavy bombing during World War II, especially during the Battle of Manila in 1945. Restoration efforts began in the 1970s to bring back the original form, and today it stands as a symbol of resilience and history. Oral histories passed down by local often describe the area as a place of bravery, sacrifice, and resistance. Stories tell of soldiers stationed at the fort, local residents seeking shelter during attack, and the devastation seen during wartime. Many tour guides also share tales of hidden tunnels and spiritual encounter, adding a layer of folklore to the historical narrative. Today, Baluarte de San Diego serves not only as a historic site but also as a venue for cultural appreciation and public events. Here's how its heritage showcase. Architectural showcase. The site is a fine example of 16th century military architecture. Its circular structure and thick stone walls demonstrate Spanish colonial design and engineering skills. Historical exhibits. Informative panels and signs around the site offers visitor insight into the fort's construction, evolution, and military role. Cultural events and performances. Baluarte often hosts heritage festival, outdoor plays, concerts, and even weddings, creating a connection between the past and present. Educational tours. Guided tours for students and tourists explain the role of the fort in defending the city, its destruction during war, and the importance of preserving history. Landscape grounds. The site includes beautifully maintained garden and open space, making it a peaceful place for reflection while being surrounded by the century-old walls.
Alam nyo ba, ang Baluarte de San Diego ay orihinal na itinayo noong 1586 bilang isang bilog na tanggulan dito sa Pilipinas. Ang Baluarte de San Diego ay itinayo ng isang padring Jesuita na si Father Antonio Sedeño. At hindi lang siya isang pare, isa rin siyang ininhero.
Baluarte de San Diego stands today as a living reminder of Manila colonial past, its wartime struggles, and the cultural strength of the Filipino people. It blends history, architecture, and modern-day appreciation, making it a key destination for learning and cultural identity.
Our next stop is Casa Manila. To get Casa Manila from Baluarte de Santiago, you can easily walk. It's very close and located within Intramuros. Exit Baluarte de Santiago and walk toward Muriala Street. Second, turn right on Muriala Street, then left onto Anda Street. Third, continue walking until you reach General Luna Street. Fourth, turn right on General Luna Street. Casa Manila will be just across San Agustin Church on your left.
Casa Manila is a beautiful reconstructed Spanish colonial house located in Intramuros, Manila. It was built in 1980 under the direction of former First Lady Imelda Marcos as part of a cultural project to preserve and showcase Filipino heritage during the Spanish era. The house is a faithful replica of an 1850s bahay na bato, typical of wealthy Filipino families, ilustrados, during the Spanish colonial period. It is based on the original home of Don Severino Mendoza, a merchant from Binondo. The structure was designed to reflect the architecture and lifestyle of the Filipino elite, combining native, Chinese, and Spanish influence. Oral histories tied to Casa Manila are often told through the tour guides who share stories of their life of the Ilustrados families, how they dine, dress, and entertain guests, and observe religious practices. Locals also recount the time when Intramuros was the heart of political and social life and how this kind of house represented power, privilege, and cultural blending. Casa Manila is more than just a building. It is a living museum that immerses visitors in the lifestyle of the 20th century Filipino elite. Here's what it showcases. Colonial interiors, the house is fully furnished with antique furniture, chandeliers, porcelain, and artworks from the Spanish period. Each room, from the sala to cuarto to the comedor, is arranged to reflect historical accuracy. Traditional. Filipino-Spanish architecture. The building features a stone base and wooden upper floors with gappy shells windows, ventanillas, and a central courtyard or azotea, representing the hybrid style of the era. Cultural exhibits. Visitors learn about customs like the mano po, harana, colonial etiquette, and even the roles servants within the household. Guided tours. These are enriched by stories about daily life during the 1800s, including how families celebrated holidays, handled courtships, and participated in social gatherings. Location significance. Casa Manila is stand across the historic San Agustin Church, reinforcing the cultural connections between faith, family, and Filipino tradition during colonial times.
Alam niyo ba, sa Casa Manila, may palikuran na tinatawag na chamber pot at nilalagay ito sa ilalim ng kama noong panahon ng Kastila.
Casa Manila allows visitors to step back in time, offering an authentic experience of Spanish-era life in the Philippines. It remains one of the best preserved representation of the country's colonial past and continues to educate and inspire through cultural immersion.
The Manila Cathedral The Manila Cathedral, officially known as the Minor Basilica and Metropolitan Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, is one of the most iconic and historically significant churches in the Philippines. It was originally established in 1571 by Spanish conquistador Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. The same year, Manila was declared the capital of the Philippines. The cathedral was built on the site of a former mosque, symbolizing the shift in religious power during the Spanish colonization. Over the centuries, the cathedral has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times due to earthquakes, fire, and wars, including severe damage during World War II Battle of Manila in 1945. The present structure, completed in 1958, is the 8th incarnation of the cathedral. Oral histories often highlight the cathedral's role in the lives of Filipinos through generations, hosting countless baptisms, weddings, and estate events. Elders in the community recount how it served as a sanctuary during times of turmoil and how it bells signal important events in the city. For many, it is not just a church, but a symbol of Filipino faith, endurance, and national pride. The Manila Cathedral stands as a living representation of the country's Catholic heritage, Spanish influence, and architectural achievement. Hear what it offers. Neo-Romanesque architecture. Its grand facades, rose windows, mosaics, and stained glass reflect a blend of European design and Filipino artistry. Historical artifacts and relics. Inside are religious artworks, relics of saints, and statues, including a revered image of Immaculate Conception, the cathedral's patroness. Liturgical role. As the seat of Archbishop of Manila, it plays a major role in national religious ceremonies, including papal visit, state funerals, and archdiocese events. Cultural symbol. The cathedral has become a national icon, a setting for many important historical moments, including the funeral of national heroes and masses attended by global dignitaries like Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis. Tourism and education. It attracts both religious pilgrims and tourists. Guide tours are available and signage provide historical background, helping visitors understand its role in both religion and Philippine history.
Alam mo ba, ang Manila Cathedral ay naitayo muli ng 8 beses mula noong 1571. Nasira ito ng lindol, sunog at digmaan.
The Manila Cathedral continues to be a powerful symbol of the resilience, faith, and identity of the Filipino people. It's not just a place of worship, it's a monument to the country's long, complex, and inspiring past.
Fort Santiago. Located in the historic walled city of Intramuros, Manila, is one of the oldest and most important Spanish military fortresses in the Philippines. It was built in 1571 by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the Spanish governor who founded Manila. The site was originally a Muslim settlement ruled by Raja Sulaiman, but the Spanish took control and constructed the fort as a symbol of colonial power and defense. The fort played a key role during the Spanish colonial period as a military stronghold, prison, and center of power. It housed soldiers and weaponry and served as the headquarters for colonial government forces. Most notably, it became infamous as the detention site of Dr. Serizal, the Philippine national hero. He was imprisoned in Fort Santiago before his execution in 1896. During World War II, the Japanese used Fort Santiago as a prison and torture chamber. Hundreds of Filipino and American prisoners of war died within its dungeons. After being heavily damaged during the Battle of Manila in 1945, the fort was restored and is now maintained as a national shrine and historical park. Oral history about Fort Santiago often includes stories of resistance, imprisonment, and sacrifice. Elders and tour guides recount ghost stories, tales of Rizal's final walk, now marked with bronze footprints, and emotional wartime memories passed down through generations. Fort Santiago today serves as a historical and cultural landmark that preserves and presents Philippine history through its architecture, exhibits, and programs. Here's what you can expect. Jose Rizal Shrine Museum, located inside the fort. This museum presents Rizal's life, writing, and martyrdom, including original manuscript and personal items. Dungeons and walls. Visitors can explore the dungeons, watchtowers, and bastions used during the Spanish and Japanese occupations, offering insight into military life and punishment. Rizal Final Footstep. A bronze trail on the ground marked the path Dr. Sir Rizal walked from his cell to Bagong Bayan, now Rizal Park, where he was executed. Cultural performances. The fort hosts theatrical plays, music events, and heritage festivals, reviving history in an engaging and interactive way. Preserved architecture and landscape, its gates, moats, gardens, and colonial-era structures provide a vivid look into the past and serve as a scenic spots for reflection and education. Fort Santiago stands today not only as a symbol of colonial rule, but also as a monument of national pride, sacrifice, and memory. It continues to educate and inspire Filipinos and visitors through its rich history and cultural programs.